Welcome to the Unisys ClearPath OS 2200 Eclipse IDE 16.0 New Features Demo. This demo explains Run Procedure Definition Processor on an element of type COBOL and check COBOL editor errors. Let's understand the option provided to run the Procedure Definition Processor on a COBOL element. You can run Procedure Definition Processor over a COBOL Copy Proc element when the element is saved back to an OS 2200 system. This improves productivity as you can automatically generate the copy proc without leaving the Eclipse environment. This is supported on the Unisys Common Editor, and you can process an active editor automatically or manually. To process automatically, go to Window, Preferences, General, Editors, Text Editors, UDT Preference page, and select the Check for PDP Copy Proc After Save checkbox. This enables you to process the Unisys Common Editor every time it is saved. To process manually, click OS 2200 PDP Copy Proc. Alternatively, you can click the PDP Copy Proc icon from the toolbar menu. The PDP Copy Proc dialog box appears. In the PDP Copy Proc dialog box, you can modify the command options and specify the file name, where the copy procedure will be processed. By default, the text box in the PDP Copy Proc dialog box is filled with the commanded PDP, UC, and the OS 2200 file path of the active editor. In the background, the command is sent to the host and executed. When the output is generated, it is displayed in the PDP Copy Proc view. This view is refreshed with each element that is processed. If the editor is dirty, Eclipse prompts you to save the editor first. If you do not save, then the last saved version on the OS 2200 system is processed. If the editor is not a COBOL procedure, Eclipse prompts if you want to continue. Click Yes to continue to process the active editor. Let's understand the COBOL Coding Guidelines feature. This feature provides an ability to conform COBOL coding guidelines. As a result, you will be able to easily adhere to the coding guidelines and rectify any discrepancies quickly. While developing COBOL programs, it is possible not to adhere to coding guidelines. This feature will parse the COBOL programs and highlight the guidelines for duplicate paragraph and section names, go-tos, no perform, indentation, unreferenced section and on-error clause in DMS statement. This feature is applicable only to COBOL editors. This functionality is disabled for all other editor types. To verify the coding guidelines adherence, click OS 2200, display COBOL errors, or right-click anywhere in the COBOL editor and click Display COBOL Errors. The COBOL Errors view will display any coding guidelines discrepancies. You can expand, collapse, and remove all data for all nodes in the tree format view, and save the contents to a text file. You can set your rules for the coding guidelines. To set the rules, click Windows, Preferences. In the Preferences window, expand COBOL and click Error Checks. You can set the following rules in the Error Checks page: duplicate paragraph and section names, discourage go-tos, no perform, indentation issues, number of spaces, no error check, unreferenced section. By default, all rules are enabled with default priorities, and the indent spaces for the indentation rule. You can also set the priority from the drop-down list against each rule. To disable the particular rules, you can uncheck the respective boxes. The coding guidelines are based on the default settings. Duplicate paragraph and section names lists all the duplicated section and paragraph names in the program. Discourage go-tos lists all instances of go-to, except when used in on-error or at-end clause. No perform lists the perform statements, where the section or paragraph that is being performed is empty. Indentation issues checks all if statements indentation issues. based on the spaces specified in the preference. No error check lists all DMS command statements in the procedure division, where an error clause is not specified. Unreferenced section lists the sections that have not been performed explicitly. Unisys offers a comprehensive set of ClearPath services to enrich the value of your ClearPath applications, data and systems. Please contact your Unisys representative for more information.